Hello, welcome to Shepreneur Stories series, an initiative by 46XX that brings to light story of a woman entrepreneur per episode that might just cheer, inspire, aid and benefit you on your entrepreneurial journey. Today, let's listen in to the story of Farzana Suri, a victory coach, trainer and a numerologist who founded her firm Farzana Suri Victory Coach in 2012. You may read more about her accomplishments in the description box. Listen in to learn more about as to how did she get to where she is today. Farzana hails from the land of Nawabs, Lucknow, and belongs to the family of the famous Urdu poet Mir Anis. With her parents migrating to Mumbai in 1958, this coastal city has been her home since then. Born in a conservative middle-class Muslim family, she is the fifth child in the lineup of 7 siblings. Her entry into the world was itself a challenge. Her parents had barely any money, and with 4 other children, life wasn't easy for her mother. Although none of her parents studied beyond class 4, they insisted that their children be in the best school and not stereotyped, like the rest of the children in their extended families. Hence, Farzana and her siblings studied in a convent school and stayed in a cosmopolitan area of the city. She credits her success to her older sister, who paved the way for her to work in an advertising agency, something that was unthinkable in her family. Farzana stays in Mumbai with her husband and her cat. Being the middle child, so to speak, she was very obedient. She didn't want to tilt the apple cart. She was close to her mother and did all that she could to make her life a little easy. She would come home from school and wash the dishes, clothes, and keep the house spick and span, of her own volition. She was a first-class student and her parents had no trouble with her. She was an emotional child and would cry at the drop of a hat. She still does. She was also asthmatic, so her mother and teachers took a little more interest in her. Teachers loved her and she had scores of friends. Coming from a home of 7 children, space was a constraint, and one of her dreams was to own her own home where every member of her family had a room to themselves. She hated disharmony, and it would bother her when her parents or siblings had arguments. She just wanted to care for people and be a nurse someday. She used to fantasize about a world where she hugs everyone she meets, making the world happier, so there are no wars, no fear of each other. While wanting to be loved and be caring towards others was an inherent trait, she hated seeing anyone in distress. She remembers helping a class fellow who couldn't afford to buy new pencils. She would quietly leave a packet of some extra pencils she had anonymously. In another instance, when her dad couldn't afford one of her brothers continuing his education, she bought his textbooks from her savings in the piggy bank and made a mess of those books, so they looked a bit weathered, and he believed a friend loaned it to her for him. Essentially, the need to see a harmonious world is what drove her to do what she does today. When she passed SSC, the right thing to do was pursue commerce, since it was the middle ground and respectable compared to arts. And after 3rd year BCom, it was natural to follow what everyone was doing, training to become a chartered accountant. She interned with a CA who worked for ad agencies, and was surprised to find out how much fun even the finance department was. As an article intern at Lintas, she was fascinated by the work they did and decided this was where she belonged, not poring over trial balances and profit and loss statements. She enrolled in Xavier Institute of Communications and walked into the dreamy world of advertising. She worked in advertising for over 16 years with phenomenal veterans like Dacuna, Bharat Dabolkar, Kiran Khalap, etc., and brands like Parle, Merck, SBI, Sony TV, Raymond's and Piaggio. Till she found no joy and desire to continue, and she felt the yearning to get to know people better and see how she could help them. She dabbled in numerology and then honed her coaching skills to do it professionally and on her own. Thus began the third chapter of her life. Farzana ventured into entrepreneurship in 2012 with the aim of helping people see themselves as winners. Since the past 9 years, through her venture, she has impacted the lives of over 6,500 clients spanning 23 countries. Additionally, she has conducted over 550 training and speaker sessions. Her clients include senior corporate executives, entrepreneurs, media and sports personalities, and individuals seeking to be victorious in their life. Farzana will now give us a peek into what her entrepreneurial journey has been like.
I'm Farzana Suri, a victory coach, and I work using numerology. I'm a leadership trainer and a motivational speaker. But what is most important about me, and I love to say this, is that I'm a die-hard optimist, and I feel that in order to achieve anything in life, you've just got to be unstoppable, and that kind of defines me. Well, call it the call from the universe. I was handed over the pink slip, after about 16 years of, working in various organizations, and that was like, cold water on my face. But it was very, very important for me moving into being an entrepreneur. It was, I would say, an important aspect of my life where I was morphing from a caterpillar into a butterfly. Little did I know, of course, at that point in time that this is what was going to happen. And it's been a journey that has made me grow. It has been a journey where I've realized that my love for alternate sciences, has actually placed me where I am today. Now, when I look back, I feel perhaps I was, born to do this. I was just waiting for that, eureka moment or that nudge, all this while. Well, when you lose your job, you feel that you have lost your identity. You feel that you really don't exist because all this while you have only been defined by the legacy of an organization. And, that is when you realize that things need to be different. And the only way you can make a difference is when you do something different. So when I moved into coaching, when I moved into, training, it felt like I could perhaps do it by myself. It would not be as difficult as I imagined it to be. Little did I realize that, it was a series of challenges that I would be faced with. It came down to a point where after 14, 15 months of no work and being on my own and being solo, I was down to just about 1,300 rupees with an EMI of 85,000 to pay in 3 weeks. Everything seemed dark. It was a moment where I never expected myself to be after, being at the pinnacle of my success in advertising. And, but yes, there I was with no light at the end of the tunnel. And it was just that one phone call from a past, connection, which actually changed the course and direction of my life. It was that one phone call where this person asked me if I could do offered me a training assignment. And my first question to him was, will I be paid? And he kind of laughed and said, of course you will be paid. But I wasn't, I couldn't believe what he was saying. Because you know what happens when you start up, right? Everybody wants to take a freebie out of you. And my third question to him was, how much? And he surpassed my expectations. I was only looking for 85,000 to rally myself through those, to be able to pay my first EMI. And he says, Farzana, we will pay you 1 lakh for a two-day assignment. And that is it. There was no looking back since then. I've had support from amazing, amazing people, in my life. And it's this faith and this trust in myself and my abilities and my ability to ask for what I wanted is what has been the story of my life and my journey. Like I said, my first very first client through coaching came from my secretary. It was my secretary who recommended me while she was on a train journey to one of her trained colleagues, who then who kind of then recommended me to somebody else. And that is when I felt that, oh my God, there are people around who will support you, if you just reach out to them. But my biggest support, I would say, has come through my family, has come through my friends, has come through a varied source of people. In fact, very interestingly, I remember one of my helps in my house who reached out to me and said, "Madam, you started doing all of this, and I think there is one client of mine who probably could do with your help. Can I recommend you to that person?" And this lady was my masseuse. So help comes from wherever. If you just reach out and have the courage to just share what you do with people. Well, what happens when you are a solopreneur is that you want to be immersed in your work, because your work becomes your life, and it becomes your life because you love what you do and you enjoy it, and every day seems to be really not work. However, as a solopreneur, as a self-employed professional, you need to pause. You need to also understand that your body needs rest, your mind needs rest, and so self-care is a very important aspect of what you do and how you support yourself, and balance your life. At the same time, we have all these relationships around us which you need to also nurture. So while you're immersed in your work and everything, you need to do things to balance it all from with your work and with your family, because your family is your support system eventually, and they need your time, your attention, and they need our relationships also need to be refueled in that way. So yes, I mean, take time out to learn something. Take time out to, when I say learn something, not necessarily your craft, it could be something beyond your craft. It could be how to change a tire, it could be origami, it could be anything. Just do something which is very different to what you are doing. Pay a lot of attention to your health, because as solopreneurs we forget that like I said, our body needs rest. So fitness, eating right, eating on time, hydrating yourself, having the time to socialize and having fun with your family and friends is also very vital for you. And times like these where we are work from home, it's important to also get out there and bask in the sun or just walk on grass, but do something that kind of balances your being as well. As an entrepreneur, the biggest and I guess the most memorable part of your life is that first check or that first payment that you receive. That in itself is a huge accomplishment. And like I said, when you're working for some people, you're working for an organization, there is a legacy. You are actually representing that legacy. But when you move out on your own, what you are representing is you. You are the brand. And so my very first accomplishment in my professional life as an entrepreneur has been my first, I won't say paycheck because it wasn't a check. It was at 500 rupee notes that I received from my very first client, who I said was recommended to me by my secretary. So yes, that was my very first and most memorable, achievement or accomplishment, as you can say, that day. And cut to 2021. Well, I've been very honored and privileged to have served 6,500 clients across 23 countries till date, and it keeps counting. Apart from that, I guess the fact that I have received my 111th tier referral. So what this primarily means is you recommend me to someone, say person A recommends me to person B, B recommends me to person C, and this has actually gone. So now, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the 112th chain. And to me, that has been the most rewarding, the most, I would say, the most cherished accomplishment that I can think of. And yes, like I said, over 6,500 clients across 23 countries, and they also include the likes of senior corporate professionals from organizations like Google, BBC, DHL, Blue Dart, DMart, VDOL, and so many others. So I conduct leadership training programs for them. I've worked individually with some media professionals, entertainment personalities, sports personalities as well. And it's been, and of course, a lot of women entrepreneurs and individuals probably embarking on a life on their own. And yes, all of this has also helped me in through these clients. I've also been able to garner a lot of media support. So I really don't have a PR agency. My PR agents, I would say, are my clients who recommend me to people they meet, and I've been featured in almost about 50 to 60 media, print media, and on TV, as well as on radio across nations. So in UK, US, Canada, and even a place like Spain. Come to think of it, yes, I do. One of the regrets is I wished I had invested more in learning. I wish I had invested my, my savings better. And I wish I had, spent more time on, honing the skills that I already had. I always thought that I would only end up in an advertising agency and I'd never be able to do anything on my own. So I do regret the fact that had I invested in all of this, I would have probably had a different vision of my life. But wherever I am today, I'm still very happy and very grateful. But first and foremost, I'm not really looking towards a huge, wealth accrual. So I don't have ambitions of having a 500 crore company and those kind of ambitions. But yes, what I do want is, I'm a person of, who kind of is driven by the heart. So I am looking to impact and personally reach out to at least 100,000 people each year. I mean, that is the number in my mind right now. Can I leave people better than what they were when they met me? Can I add a smile to everyone who comes in contact with me? My ambitions lie there, and I also feel that there's so much that we as coaches and trainers have to provide to this world. This is a world actually which has completely changed in the last 1 year, 5 months. And what is brought into focus is the fact that the world needs kindness, the world needs love, and what the world actually needs today is collaboration. So I'm really looking forward to collaborate with as many people as I can, so that together we can hold each other's hand and be a source of inspiration, be a source of learning and growth for the many who are out there. None of us need to do anything on our own when we are there to help each other. So I'm certainly looking at creating, I would say, a web of collaborations across countries, across cities, so that we together can make a difference to the world. Why just me? Yes, one of the things I would like to share with, and these are just learnings that I've kind of, grasped on the way to being, in these last 9 years of, being on my own, is that very many times people tell us to be a little hard-boiled, or they tell us to be, you need to be very aggressive to get things going. And, it's a very harsh world. It's a very aggressive world. So you've got to play the game that way. I don't think we need to do any of those things. We need to go with our vibe. We need to go with what resonates with us and our hearts. And so I call this, whatever you need to do, forge. And by forge, I mean somewhere, bring in what we women entrepreneurs can bring to the table, which very many can't, which is, forgiveness. And when I talk about forgiveness, I'm not talking just about the world out there, because yes, there are many people who probably, not been very great with us, and we need to forgive them. But I think most importantly, we need to forgive ourselves. And that is one thing I feel which is very critical to us, because I know in my journey, I've needed to do that very many times to keep moving further and rising. So definitely forgive. Have an openness. When you walk into any discussion, any situation, any challenge, be open to ideas, because when we close ourselves and think this is how life is only going to be, then you're really not allowing yourself to grow. Be responsible. Be accountable to where you are, what you're doing, and where you are, how you want to move. I think it is a responsibility. Whatever work you're doing, you're responsible for those families, you're responsible for those clients, you're responsible for those vendors who are attached to you. So responsibility is a huge thing. Gratitude. I mean, I can't stop talking about gratitude, because the fact that I'm here today, the fact that I'm breathing today, the fact that I have so many people who are my raving fans, who really want me to succeed and win at life, I think we all need to be absolutely in gratitude to everyone and everything in every situation that comes our way. And lastly, I would say evolve. Keep evolving. The world is never going to be just the way it is. You've got to keep, honing your skills. You've got to be sharpening the axe. You've got to be, I would say, even transforming yourself so that you can create that change, around the world. So forge ahead. So when I got into entrepreneurship, a lot of people thought I'd fail. A lot of people thought that, oh, she's going to come back, she's never going to survive, she can't do much, etc. I just want to remind all of you that we are born victorious. Each one of us within us has the trappings of success, and no one can take that away from you. No one. So the only thing that we need to do is, re-engineer ourselves a little bit. So, replace failure with the word learning. Don't talk about failures, talk about learning. Respect yourself at every stage in life, in every space in life. Demand your value, no matter what. Very many times you will realize you are your biggest hurdle when you have to make a share a quote and you've already started discounting yourself. So demand your value. And snuck in self-care. I cannot but tire about saying this, but snuck in self-care, because very many times we forget to nurture ourselves. And remember one thing, there'll be some people who may not like you. There will be some people who may not like your guts or your aggression or your, or the empathetic self that you are. And it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to be a superwoman. You just have to be great and best in whatever you do at whatever point in time. So, so don't beat yourself up on that. I wish there was a platform like this, when I started, because we don't have to do anything by ourselves. We don't have to, believe me, each one of us is standing on the shoulders of some other woman who made it out here. And this platform is sharing with you that there are so many of us out here, and we can pick a learning from each one of them, and not only grow bold, but get braver to, withstand anything that comes our way. Because in every story, it is your story. And that is what I feel this platform of 46XX actually provides us. And I'm very thankful, and it's such an honor to be here as well on this platform and talking to all of you. So thank you.
If you liked what you just saw and heard and would like to be notified as soon as we come up with more such content, like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon of our YouTube channel, or follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or get yourself added to our mailing list by filling in a form. You will find the handles, addresses, links displayed on your screens in the description box or comments section. Thank you.